morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever, whatever part of the world you are in. I want to say welcome to drboystv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. And today we're going to talk about whether or not men who get married are just big, dumb simps. There's a lady who did a video who basically said that when you get married, for most men, that you are the sucker, you are being played, that you are not her first choice, and you are being used. And I'm going to break some of this down with my good buddy, Tierra KJ Williams, a.k.a. Miss Black Hollywood. How you doing today, T?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. And so as you come in, give me a yes and let me know you can hear me. Give me a quick yes to let me know the audio is good. Also, don't forget this podcast is on Spotify. I'm just going to jump right into it, T. I'm going to play this video because this video got brothers hopping mad. So I'm going to play it, and I want y'all to let me know. Give me a yes, everybody, if you can hear this clip. I'm going to play it right now. Here we go.
Settling with you. I have girlfriends in marriages right now who have settled with the nice, safe, secure guy we weren't all that attracted to. We didn't really want that much. We didn't have any chemistry with. We had meh sex with because we had to. Because the guy we actually felt passion and chemistry for doesn't want us. Or makes us so emotionally unhinged and erratic that we can't look ourselves in the mirror anymore. Normally, those guys that we settle for don't make it happen. To us, it's like, well, damn, if you're putting up with it, well, okay, cool. If you're still here, cool. When you want to go, that's fine. But in the meantime, I got no one else. You're here to give it. Cool. I accept. But my God, I see how pathetic you are, and I will definitely use that to my advantage. We'd leave you in a heartbeat if someone better came along.
Woo! Okay, so y'all give me like a one sentence description of what you saw in this video. What are your thoughts on this video? Charlene and Justin, what's going on? How are you guys doing? What do you think? I'll start with you, T. What are your thoughts as you watch this video from this lady?
That's Jada Pinkett Smith's energy.
It's what Jada Pinkett Smith energy.
That's Jada Pinkett Smith energy. No, I do think there are. First of all, I think she's a biatch. Let me just say that. I'm sorry for cursing. But most women don't think this way. But I think there are women who resent their husbands and didn't end up with who they wanted to be with. And they do feel like that on the inside. I won't say that's every woman, but she definitely represents a large portion of women.
She represents a large portion of women, in the sense that a lot of women really marry the guy they don't marry the guy they actually wanted. They end up marrying the guy that wanted them. Is that that's kind of what the argument is? Is that what's being said here?
Well, I feel like that women marry for security, right? And when they're young, when we're young, we might look at like looks and how he gives us a rush or a thrill or whatever. But once we get a little older, I think we do marry for security or whatever we need at that time. Right? Those needs are different and they change as we get a little older. So I would say that. I wouldn't say like all of the women feel like she feels, but I think once we turn a certain age, it's like, okay, I need a man who's responsible, who can take care of the family, who can lead us somewhere that's not in danger. Like women want to be led. They want, don't want you to lead them off a cliff. So once we get older, we start to look and be like, okay, can he communicate? Can he, you start asking more questions is my point. So it isn't necessarily the ugly troll in the corner. Like that's not the only man that, that women are attracted to. But I think, you start to look at the man that spent more time in the library than the gym. Like you start to, there's certain things that you need, So I think those are and I wouldn't even say settle. We just find someone I think that we're more compatible with.
Okay, well, I think that's interesting. I'll tell you what. All right, so give me a yes or no if you think that there's any validity to what she's saying. Give me a yes or no if you've seen this where somebody maybe married the person that wasn't their first choice, or married the person who didn't give them the best sex, or married the person who they didn't think was the most attractive, or married the person that didn't give them that thrill that they had when they were 21 years old. Give me a yes if you're in this if you've seen this before, if you understand that. And I ask you all to give me a yes or no on this because honestly, I think this happens all the time. I think that's called growth and maturity, right? And so it's like you can think of relationships like food. We know what food tastes best. Like I love right now. If I had my way, I would be eating some Twizzlers with maybe a Hershey bar and some ice cream. I got ice cream up in my freezer, and every single day I have to talk myself out of making a big ass banana split because I love banana splits. But the reason I don't eat a banana split every day is because that shit will kill you.
For sure.
Right. I don't eat banana splits every day because I don't want to be 400 pounds with triple diabetes and getting toes cut off and everything else because I did not think about my future. I did not think about what was good for me versus what I wanted. Right. There are things that are good and there are things that are good for you. And so what I really hear is she's kind of crapping on mature decision making when it comes to relationships. Like, so let's start with the first part where she says, well, the real guy that she really wanted is the guy that didn't want her, that the guy that really got her going. He doesn't want her, so she picked you instead. Okay, so you're saying that if you couldn't find some guy willing to put up with your toxic ass, that you would be chasing, that you would be dumb enough to go chase a guy who does not love you. That tells me you ain't got no self-esteem.
Correct.
You ain't got, I'm gonna tell y'all seriously. I want everybody to hear this. Like, if you are spending your time loving somebody that don't love you back and they never gonna love you and don't respect you, and don't care about you, I'm looking at you. I'm not really looking at them. Oh, they did me wrong again. They for the 88th time, Lord Jesus, they done did me wrong every Tuesday at 4:00 in the afternoon. And I'm like, well, they doing you wrong every single week, but yet you still chasing behind that person. You sound like a crackhead right now. You do. You sound like, and that's what, and this is why healing is important. Like, a lot of people they have trauma, they haven't healed. So maybe you're chasing your daddy and your daddy wasn't shit. So you will pass up the man who's going to love you and be chasing your daddy to the ends of the earth and then call yourself a victim so you can get in Essence magazine and they can tell your story about how you overcame 8 abusive relationships. So the reality is, like, this is why healing is so important, because people that are thoroughly healed don't want to go chase more toxic experiences. Right? I give you, if you're under 25, I give you a pass. You're young, your brain is not fully developed. You don't know shit. You think you do, but you really don't. But when you get to like about 30, 33, 34, you start getting tired of that. It's time for you to like grow up a little bit and start making better choices. So to me, the danger of like a video like that is that what it's really saying is that making balanced choices is not cool. That literally, it's almost like, I'm like, okay, so you're saying that that it was bad that she married the guy that took care of her but didn't give her a spark, the guy that loves her, as opposed to chasing the guy who doesn't love her. Then what's the alternative? I don't know what the alternative is. Right? What do you think? I mean, I felt like that video kind of got on my nerves a little bit. What do you think?
I mean, like I said, she really sounds like a bee, and it's obvious that she has some attachment issues. I really don't like towards the end when she starts talking about, like, so you're here, this good man that you have who is taking care of you. Now you're going to be a simp. I'm going to use you and I'm going to abuse you and I'm going to treat you like whatever because you here taking care of me. Like, she's hella toxic. So whoever she's with, I hope that he sees it and he runs for the hills. Like, I hope he leaves, So, I mean, that's what I think. I think she's obviously like a bitter, broken woman, and not every woman is like that.
Well, I agree. I agree 100%. So, by the way, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. You're watching drboystv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. I've got Tiara KJ Williams here, aka Miss Black Hollywood, and Tiara actually runs a company called Real Virtual that it can help you with your business if you want to get your business started or get advice and ideas on content or creativity or get some help. Just get some help. All of us need help to build that empire. Do a free consultation. Reach out to realvirtual.net, REEL. It's on the screen, and they will meet with you for free to talk to you about your business. And then also, if you tell them that I sent you, they'll take $100 off. So feel free to go to realvirtual.net. Okay, so let's dig into this then. I made a couple of notes. In fact, what I'm going to do before I even dig into the notes, I want to play the video again. And actually, you know what? Before I play her video again, I want to play a video that I think men need to check out. This is from a 95-year-old man that they interviewed on the street. It's funny as hell. Here it is.
I'm 95 years old.
You're 95 years old. You look good for 95, man.
That's because I don't run behind big asses and titties. That'll kill you. Y'all young men, y'all be screwing all these hoes out here. That's why y'all come up with arthritis and rheumatism. Your eyesight go bad. Your hair starts coming out. When you overfuck yourself, you bring arthritis on yourself. Every time you drop that seed in her.
Yeah.
Your bone marrow and all that stuff from your head to your toe goes inside of her. And when you have intercourse with your girlfriend, who always fall asleep first? The man.
Yeah, I fall
And
asleep.
when you wake up, she done stole your wallet, stole your car keys. She gone about her business.
Yeah, I got to get that shit back.
Well, you better kill her then. You have to eat right. Stay away from McDonald's and Burger King. Don't drink sodas.
No soda, no pussy, no McDonald's.
Yeah. The biggest, you can eat, but stay away from that pussy. If you ain't gonna marry that woman, don't stick your dick up in her. You don't know what disease she got.
No, stay away
and now
from that
all
pussy.
the women got coronavirus.
Yeah,
I
they
have
got that corona pussy.
Oh, hell yeah.
That corona pussy.
Don't stick your little 2-inch dick in every asshole that's out here.
When said all the women got corona, I fell out.
Well,
That was so funny.
that is funny. That's
Anyway,
funny.
so between the comedy of what he had to say, I saw some wisdom actually. What did you see when this man was talking?
Yeah, I mean, choose a woman and be with that woman. Don't stick your penis everywhere. Yeah, all the wisdom in there. You know, just have some discipline about yourself. Eat well. Like all I heard was discipline and good habits covered in funny.
Well, you know, and I'm gonna tell you, I like that type of information because what it really just reminds young people of that they don't hear enough is that you have to have some type of balance.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, when I thought about his video when I saw her video, right? I thought about how many people I know who treat marriage as if you're going to be 32 years old for the rest of your life. Right? They literally think I'm going to be young forever. All that's going to matter to me forever is who's the prettiest, who's the baddest, you know, whatever. And it's kind of like, no, actually, when you get a little bit older, which is going to happen faster than you think, you're going to start to prioritize other things. You're going to move beyond the level of kind of being like an animal, just sort of being led around by your penis to the point where you're actually thinking like a grown man, hopefully, where you have to think about other things besides just, you know, where am I going to get some today? And I think that that it's not really spoken about enough, right? I think when I watched that video from the lady, and I'm gonna play that video again because I think we need to kind of assess that. I really just kind of saw something toxic. She was feeding into the toxicity of both the men and the women, right?
Yeah.
So with the men, basically the men that were sharing this video were men in more that what they call the red pill community, the ones that are just kind of questioning dating habits in America, challenging feminism, everything else. And I'm not even mad at them all the time because sometimes they say stuff. I'm like, actually, you got a good point there.
Right.
So I don't disagree, but where I challenge them a little bit and where I get called a simp is I say, well, you got to challenge yourself too. Accountability has to go both ways, right? You can't just hold women accountable when you're not holding yourself accountable. Like you're sitting around saying, I want women to submit and I want them to submit. I want them to be to let me lead. And ain't no smart woman gonna let you lead her off no damn cliff.
That's right.
You know, if you're not equipped, if you have not challenged yourself as a man to be a good enough leader, no smart woman's gonna let you lead her in that way. That's crazy. But then also on the other side, you know, on the angry woman side, you have the same thing. You know, you have women that will talk about, you know, terrible things that men do and how terrible men are, and they don't think about the types of men they're picking. Also, they say, well, I want a man to protect and provide, but there's nothing feminine about you. Like you're as feminine as Hulk Hogan. Like you remind me of a Green Bay Packer when you step up in here with your hardcore gangster energy, and you really think I'm gonna address you as a creature that needs to be nurtured. I don't want to nurture a rock. I'm not gonna cuddle with a brick. Yeah, I'm not. I cuddle with my wife because she's something soft.
Yeah.
I'm not cuddling with something that's like prickly like a damn porcupine. You know, and that's the thing though. That's why the healing part. I keep going back to the healing. I wish everybody would listen to me on this. So because a lot of the women, if you really break down, like if you really know how to like a lot of times, honestly, when you run into like this, the tough woman with the bad bitch mentality, if you're just tougher than her and you're stronger than her, and you're like sturdy as a man, like you can overcome that. I've seen women give me a tough persona, and then after a while, when they can't break me down, I eventually become the alpha and whatever. And what you'll find is that usually that tough exterior is guarding a soft interior. Correct. Right. But I think that what a lot of women don't understand is that some men don't have the patience for that because it's very hard to do that. It's very painful to do that. It's very dangerous to try to break through somebody's tough exterior because you never know when the pit bull is going to turn around and bite you again. You know, go ahead, T.
But I was just about to say to as a woman though, when you can't really trust because of our culture, boys. Like you can't really trust everything that a man says. Like some of that, like standoffishness is like, okay, what is this? What are your intentions? Because everybody's intentions are good, and then you let your guard down, and then they bring you into some whole bullshit that you didn't know you was going. You're like, wait a minute, whoa, wait. So I think that toughness or that defense initially is just that. Now I understand she can't be completely hard all the time. It's like a dance. Like you give a little, you take a little, you like, no, wait, okay, maybe a little. You could touch my butt a little. No, you can't. Yes, you can. Like it's, that we playing, right? We're going back and forth. But I think that's just it. Like once we find out that you are that dude and you are that man that we've been looking for, or that can take care of us, that can make us feel secure and soft, and we can lean into our femininity, we will. Period. Like Jesus, we will. My light came down. We will.
Well, by the way, everybody, could you please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. You're watching drboystv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. And my name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. This is Tiara KJ Williams. And no, I did not divorce my wife and marry another woman. Some people will come in. Somebody said, "Where's Alicia? She looked like Alicia. What's going?" Alicia is in the other room, and
hey,
actually,
that's my boo. I like her. That's my boo. I like her.
Right. So, and actually, earlier, my wife and I did an analysis of that movie American Fiction. If you guys want to go check that out, there was we kind of broke that down because it's a movie about a Black male professor, which that's I relate to that. Who played by Jeffrey Wright brilliantly, who basically dealt with all the stereotypes that exist in media. And actually, I don't know if you know this, T, but that movie was nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, I did. I heard that. Yep.
Yeah, it was that good. Have you seen American Fiction?
I have not seen it yet.
Oh, it's the best. It's one of the best movies. It was well done. The acting was excellent. Issa Rae played a big part in the film. I kind of felt like she had to be one of the writers, but I don't know if she was. But anyway, it's worth seeing. If anybody wants to go see a good movie, a good Black movie, I encourage you to go. And I do that intentionally because, as you know, movies like that don't put us in stereotypes don't get the same level of funding, same level of support, nothing. And I just kind of think that's unfortunate. So feel free to go check out American Fiction. Also, Tiara's website, by the way, is realvirtual.net. And they help businesses get off the ground. So if you are a person who is looking to either start a business, build your business, get help for your business, or whatever, they would do a free consultation with you. So feel free to go to realvirtual.net, REEL virtual.net. Okay, so let me play this clip again, T. I like to look at things a couple of times so we can see what we missed the first time. So I'm gonna play this clip of this lady who's giving her perspective on marriage, and I don't know what her goal is in this video, but I thought it was interesting because it went super viral and it kind of like, aha, I told you so. We caught you women being sneaky again. So let me play this video. Here we go.
For settling with you. I have girlfriends in marriages right now who have settled with the nice, safe, secure guy we weren't all that attracted to. We didn't really want that much. We didn't have any chemistry with. We had meh sex with because we had to. Because the guy we actually felt passion and chemistry for doesn't want us. Or makes us so emotionally unhinged and erratic that we can't look ourselves in the mirror anymore. Normally, those guys that we settle for don't make it happen. To us, it's like, well, damn, if you're putting up with it, well, okay, cool. If you're still here, cool. When you want to go, that's fine. But in the meantime, I got no one else. You're here to give it. Cool. I accept. But my God, I see how pathetic you are, and I will definitely use that to my advantage. We'd leave you in a heartbeat if someone better came along.
Okay. So, T, did you have any secondary reflections after you saw the video for the second time?
Yeah, there are men that will hear that and still stay with that woman, right? There are men, let's keep it real. There are men that love bitches, right? And I feel like and I use that like she's a bitch. Like that's just who she can't even help it. She sounds so broken. Her saying like the safe, secure man that'll stay with you. It's just all the great things that women should want in life. Like you should want a man to do all of those things. And even if they're not that attractive, I feel like appearance is subjective, right? I can see somebody who might not be like, we're going to say Hollywood fine, but I live in Hollywood and you can see somebody fine walking down the street. They could be dumb as a doorknob, which is why I don't even you see a lot of celebrity men and you be like, okay, like the men, people ask me all the time, like, who's your celebrity crush? I'd be like, nobody, because I've been here, and for real, like, they're not all that great looking. Once you see the total package, they can say one thing and I'd be like, that's how you talk? Oh, yeah. Oh. So I'm just saying beauty is subjective for one. So a 10 for me would be like, is he funny? Can we laugh our way through the storms? Can we relate? Can we connect? Can I find intimacy? Can I find a safe place here? Can I, just the things that you really want in a partner? Can we build together? Like, I'm not looking to just suck things from you. Like, that's not what I want to give. So she just has the wrong perspective altogether to me. What about you, boys?
Yeah, I agree. I hear everything you're saying. I mean, I think that it's I think that it really it's I don't, the reaction to that perspective, unfortunately, I think comes from the fact that if you think about it, growing up, a lot of the people in our community don't get a lot of training on even how to have a relationship.
That's true.
They don't even know what that looks like. I mean, if it's just you and your mama, you may not ever get a chance to really see any depiction of relationships other than what you see on TV.
Right.
So that right there is a disability in terms of connecting that we don't talk about enough. We don't acknowledge that enough. And what they find in relationships is relationships are very deceptive. I compare it to like a fire. You remember when you were little and you would start a campfire somewhere and you would notice that if you put paper on it, it would get real big real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so you thought that was the solution. I'll just put a lot of paper on the fire. That'll make it burn. But what happens? It burns out. Mm-hmm. Right. It burns out. And then you're like, oh, crap, what am I going to do? So then you start to learn that balance. You start learning, okay, I'm going to use some paper to get it going, but I got to have some wood on top of the paper to keep it going.
Sturdy. Mm-hmm.
And what I see is a lot of people building relationships where they've got plenty of paper, but they don't even think about the wood. There's no interest in putting wood on it. Wood is boring. Wood is heavy. It takes too much work. So they just start these little paper fires, one after the other. When I wrote my book, Financial Lovemaking, years ago, you can get a copy, guys, if you go to drboycebooks.com. I researched like love and what happens in your brain. Like, why do people act so crazy, and why does sex make people do stupid stuff and all that? And I found that basically what happens is that when you fall in love, there's like this crazy crackhead explosion inside your brain.
Yeah.
And it's very powerful. And it's God and Mother Nature's way of saying, oh, you're going to reproduce whether you want to or not. You might sit around and swear you ain't going to never date again and da-da-da. No, we going to trigger some stuff inside of you that's just going to give you a high unlike anything else in your life. And what I found was that this high is deceptive, especially when you look at a dopamine-addicted culture. Give me a yes if y'all understand this. Let me know if y'all understand this. I don't want to talk over anybody's head. Let me know if you get this. You have a dopamine-addicted culture. Yeah. Social media, all they do is they manipulate your dopamine levels to get you scrolling all day, wasting your life. You ain't accomplishing nothing. You just sitting there scrolling all day because they have the psychotherapists that are like, oh yeah, if you give them a randomized reaction, make them laugh every now and then, give them something that's going to shock them every now and then. These emotions are the ones that tend to drive them to hit the like button and all that. And they just playing you. They're literally just literally playing with you. And so basically in this dopamine addicted culture where we don't have a lot of conversations about instant gratification versus delayed gratification, the way people look at relationships is completely different. Right. And so for some people, for some men, it's like rather than looking for something sturdy and legacy building and long term, I'm gonna just slide in the DM of the pretty girl that I just saw last week because that's the new high, that's the new crack. You're a crackhead. You're chasing the pipe, right? Yeah. So I kind of think balance is called for. What do you think?
Yeah, it's really hard to date in this culture. As a single woman, I just find that if it's not social media, if it's not people telling you how to think, if it's like, you're a simp if you love a woman, you are stupid for marrying a woman or even wanting to be with a woman and not be a pimp, and you got these hoes, and it's just all of these things and all of these, so I think for women, for me, I'm not going to speak for women, but I just think that I kind of play the cut when it comes to dating because, most people are caught up in the hype, but so sometimes you run across people that are just understand that it's all for show. It's nothing is real. The women aren't real. Their butts aren't real. The breasts aren't real, you know? And so, I know natural women are going to make a comeback. I got all my butt. I got my breasts are real. Like my lips are real. Like my face is real. I don't got no injections. Like it's, you just kind of wait for fads and trends to play out. And it's just like, okay, one day a man is going to be like, cool, this is what we want, So hopefully that comes back around and it's popular on social media. But I just think it's hard to date in this culture where nobody can think for themselves.
Well, I think it comes down to like this game that people have started to, a lot of people seem to play this game with each other, where everybody's kind of scared. Everybody's scared of being hurt and traumatized. So the game is,
that's true.
I got to get you before you get me. Right? If I get you to want me and I kind of really don't want you, then I win. But if you get me wanting you and you don't want me, then I'm at risk, right? Because I can get hurt and stuff like that. And this is, again, where that healing part comes into play, because one thing that my wife taught me about attachments is that if you have really insecure attachments and you're afraid of being traumatized, you're not really going to attach to nobody. You're going to keep your distance. And the minute somebody is attaching to you, you're going to be like, oh, wait, get over there. I don't, And so people that have secure attachments understand, like, remember that Carrie Hilson song, sometimes love comes around, just get back up when it knocks you down, right? And I would interpret that almost like saying, no, just have some secure attachments. Just know that if you take that chance and you truly love and connect with another person, you're gonna get hurt, you're gonna get your feelings stepped on sometimes, you're gonna be betrayed at some point, whatever, you're gonna go through all of that. But you can get back up, you can heal, you can improve, you can get past it, but there has to be a process for that. And I don't know if people think about that process. And here's what happens though. So let's say that you say, you know what, I'm gonna really love this woman, I'm gonna really be there for her, I'm gonna be the man of her dreams every day. And then let's say that you pick the wrong one and something goes wrong and she crushes your soul, and then you go talk to your boys, and then your boys are a bunch of red pill ass dudes who are like, see, that's why you gotta be pimping these hoes. That's why you don't never trust no bitch. Like that. That's what they'll say. And you be like, yeah, man, I ain't never gonna trust these hoes. Right? And then the same thing. Women do the same thing to each other. I see that. See, that's why I don't trust no nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got women that do the same thing.
It's true.
And I don't know where these people end up. I don't know what happens with them long term. But I'm going to say that one thing about the longer game of legacy building and family and community does require the humility and the vulnerability of being willing to endure the ups and downs of long-term relationships.
Yeah.
I can tell everybody, if you think marriages and all that stuff is going to be, a picnic every day, or it's always going to feel like you felt on the first date, then don't do it. You ain't ready for this game. Your bloodline needs to cease to exist. You're not fit. You may not need to reproduce because you're not really ready for the trade-offs that are required. And what's the damage to our Black community is when they killed our families, they killed our understanding of that process. It's like if you ask me to run a marathon, and all I've seen in my whole life are sprinters. I've never seen a marathon runner before. I don't know what that looks like. Then what's going to happen? You're going to say, okay, running marathons is really good for you. I'm be like, okay, I want to do the right thing. I'm going to run a marathon. What am I going to do? If I've only seen sprinters, I'm going to run the first 200 meters as fast as I can, right? I'm going to sprint, and I'm going to think that I can literally sprint 26 miles. See, people in a relationship thinking you're going to sprint 26 miles, that the next 25 years are going to be like the first 25 days. And then you get to 200 meters and you're like, I'm tired. Like you give up the race. And what a mature person would tell you is like, no, you got to pace yourself. You got to understand, like, there's going to be some discomfort. It's a long way. You don't want to, wear yourself out. And that's the difference between growing up in a stable household with two parents that they kind of work it out and figure it out versus like looking at your relationships on TV where you see interesting stuff like have you ever noticed how many girlfriends Common has had? And Common's like 80 years old now.
Common is not 80 years old.
He's got not playing, but Common's got to be what? He's like 50 years old,
And he's had
and
75 girlfriends.
when Common was 30, that dating pattern made sense. At 50, it's starting to be a little awkward. I don't know. I'm not judging. I'm not judging at all. But it looks a little awkward. But it's like that's kind of what you end up seeing. You don't see those like long-term marriages and all this other stuff. Or when you do, you get something like a Will and Jada situation. And everybody says, see, that's why I didn't do that.
Well, this is the thing. It's like when you have access, and we talk about this all the time, when you have access to whatever woman you want on it, like it just seems like, okay, let's date Tina, let's date Tamika, let's every couple years. He got like a 2-year cap. I think I read that was the max for Common. Like every 2 years, he'd be like, well, let's swap them out. So right now,
and I'm not judging him. He can do what he wants, but go ahead.
I mean, he can do what he for sure. Respect to Common, but I'm saying in terms of, I think that's just what people are thinking. Like I need something fresh. I need something new. I need something. I don't know if he gets bored or whatever, but I just feel like that's again the culture and maybe Hollywood a little bit, where people are in and out of relationships faster than. Something cooks in a microwave, child. I don't know, but it just happens quick and it's over, and then it's So I just think
what? Well, I'm not going to judge how people choose to do it now that I think about it. And I really, since I know people that know Common, I want to be clear. I'm not trying to diss him or anything like that. I mean, I was single for a long time too. In fact, I could still be single if I had not met my wife and decided to date her, because marriage does have trade-offs and it can be difficult. I think that the bigger question though is what's the right way to proceed, and do we as a Black community, like, let me ask y'all a question. How many of y'all claim that you feel like you care about the Black community? Everybody who cares about the Black community, say yes in the chat. Let me know if you care about your people, if you want to see Black people doing better. Give me a yes if you consider yourself to be an advocate for Black people. All right, so now that we put all the yeses in the chat, I want to ask you all this. Do you think that some discussion of family needs to be had if we're going to talk about building a community? Does anybody know of any community that has ever prospered or even survived that didn't have some sort of doctrine when it comes to family, some sort of process, some sort of, rite of passage for manhood, womanhood? Is there any community out there? I don't know of one. And I think that's the challenge is like, we can't just be running around here like a bunch of high school kids forever. Yeah. Or just thinking I'm gonna date the baddest bitch, or the man that's got the most money, or just silly stuff. I think you gotta kind of, and I say bad bitch because they use that a lot in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to date a bad bitch, you know what I mean? But I kind of think that it's unfortunate because it becomes like a very immature conversation. And I think also that the men that I see that are really critical of women haven't really taken the time to understand, like, how can you get to the point where you really hate somebody who looks like your mother? I think that's that's super deep. And but it's not deep if you really think about it. It's probably because something happened with their mother. They don't like their mother. Right. And just like I warn guys, I say, look, if you date a woman that hates her father, you better make sure she gets help with that. Because subconsciously, people don't know about the subconscious. Subconscious drives everything. Subconsciously, chances are she's going to end up hating you. And it's because the first man she ever loved and depended on didn't, come through for her. Right. And I hate saying it like that, but that's what I see. So I'll let you get the last word. By the way, everybody, before we move on, I'm talking to Tiara KJ Williams, and we're talking about this lady's video where she pretty much says that women don't marry their first choice, they marry their second choice, and that basically you're a sucker if you sit there and put up with a woman. Tiara KJ Williams is the founder of realvirtual.net. Realvirtual.net, they can help you with your business. And so if you want some help, if you want some assistance, if you want help with ideas, if you want help with growth, or just figuring it out, they've got a whole team out there that can help you, and they can do a free consultation. Just go to realvirtual.net, REEL. And if you do business with them, tell them the Dr. Boy sent you. They'll take $100 off the price. Also, you guys know we do financial consciousness training every single morning. And if you'd like to join us for financial consciousness training or get lifetime access to all the trainings that we've done 20, we're on day 24 now. We've done 23. And now the recordings are available. If you want to go through that training, it's very popular. Everybody loves it in the Black Business School. Or if you just want free stuff from the Black Business School, text the word stock to 87948. Text stock to 87948, and I'll send you materials, information. Also, I'll take 76% off the lifetime access price if you'd like to get access to the material and share it with your family. All right, so hit the thumbs up button. Okay, so let's play this video one more time, T.
Okay.
And then I'd like to get your final thoughts on this. So here we go. I'm gonna play it again. Here we go.
Yeah.
For settling with you. I have girlfriends in marriages right now who have settled with the nice, safe, secure guy we weren't all that attracted to. We didn't really want that much. We didn't have any chemistry with. We had meh sex with because we had to. Because the guy we actually felt passion and chemistry for doesn't want us. Or makes us so emotionally unhinged and erratic that we can't look ourselves in the mirror anymore. Normally, those guys that we settle for don't make it happen. To us, it's like, well, damn, if you're putting up with it, well, okay, cool. If you're still here, cool. When you want to go, that's fine. But in the meantime, I got no one else. You're here to give it. Cool. I accept. But my God, I see how pathetic you are, and I will definitely use that to my advantage. We'd leave you in a heartbeat if someone better came along.
Yeah.
Okay. Now on the third time, the reason that I like to play clips 2 or 3 times is because I notice that every time I see something, I kind of see something I didn't see before. And that's kind of what we do. Actually, when we do our financial consciousness exercise, we talk about just what it means to kind of meditate on something and think it through. So what do you see the third time, T, that maybe you didn't see the first or second time that kind of jumps out at you?
Well, I think overall, it reminds me that women mature just based on the way that we develop and the way that we're programmed kind of from little girls to be domestic and to take care of our baby lives and all of the things, right? So we're mature fairly early. And boys are taught to play with their trucks and they can run and jump and be irresponsible and they could just do whatever they want. But it's not about loving a woman. And so they don't find that till very late in life. So earlier when we're dating men who are immature, at some point we get mature at a little earlier. And it's like, okay, I want to be with you. And he's like, man, I'm out in these streets still living my life, you know? So I also think about that dynamic where, you know, to me, I mean, I dated a 50-year-old man that still wasn't mature. Like we were, I was like, not now? Like you still, okay. All right. Well, this is, you know, so it really is a process, especially for Black men who have been coddled by their mothers. And, you know, they have all of these different issues happening. And you kind of got to decide, like, do I rest here where they're, you know, they still got all these things going. So it just made me think about just that dynamic.
You know, I'm going to tell you, when that lady says, you know, when she talks about men putting up with, you know, things that women do, and if you're willing to put up with me, cool, you know. I think there's a school of thought that kind of says, I put it this way, I learn a lot when I see what other married people go through, you know, like there was I showed you that one couple that does these funny little videos on Instagram, and they just kind of do this funny relatable stuff of what it's like to be married. And there was one clip where the guy is sitting there playing some little video game or something, and or doing something on his phone, and his wife comes up, and she just sits down and goes, "Do you know that water is wet?" You know, like she just wants to talk to him, and he's like, "Okay, I'm doing something," and then she's like, "Did you know that the honeybee doesn't mature until it's 7 years old?" Like, you know, like she just wants to talk to him, and he's trying to do something, and it's getting on his nerves, and so that's the whole, you know, stick of it. That's the funny part, is that she keeps wanting to connect to him while he's like trying to focus. And I said, "Oh, I get it. Okay, so everybody goes through this. A lot of husbands feel this way, because that stuff. Me and my wife go through that. We go through stuff where I get in the zone and I'm focused, and she'll come in and be like, "Hey, boys, guess what? No. And I'll be like, "Okay, I don't want to hear about the lady down the street got her baby a tricycle, and you know, like I got to focus, right? But you know, and there's a lot of other little stuff like women tell you go to a restaurant and the woman says, I don't want anything, but you know the game. You order your shit. She comes in and she will eat half of your shit. And you're like, why? But then you find out lots of women do that. And as a man, it kind of helps, it's like it's data, it's knowledge. It's like, okay, this is what women do. So next time I eat, I'm gonna fix the problem by ordering like twice as much food. Because I know she's gonna want something, right? And that's an ongoing joke. And I think that learning little things like that, understanding each other, studying each other goes a long way. I think that women don't study men enough. You don't understand men. I'm sorry if you grew up with just you and your mama. You don't understand men enough to know how to have a long-term relationship with a man. There's a lot of stuff that men just do naturally that freaks women out because they never saw it. It doesn't make sense to them. You're looking at the world through your lens, not his. So, and you never take the time to empathize and understand where he might be coming from. And I see it happen all the time in relationships. And I see, and the outcome is that you end up torturing or losing a man who really loves you. That's where women got to hold themselves accountable. You need to understand men. If you want the right man to want you and you want to want him and you want to be with him, study men. Go read a book about men. Like we're easy to understand if you don't judge, if you just listen and try to process who we are, a man will love you for that. And I think the same thing is true about women on the other side. I just tell men, there's certain things women do that it's not harmful. Some of it's irritating. But some of it, you got to be man enough to be like, you know what? It's okay. I'm not gonna sit and argue with you about it. Right. Sometimes I'm like, honestly, I become almost like borderline old school sexist where I'll be like, well, I'm the man. She's the woman. I'm gonna let her have her moment. She's emotional right now.
Oh God.
Emotional. And I'm just gonna just swim through the mud right now. We're gonna have like because there was another video, in fact, I saw where there was a guy who had a pregnant wife. And because remember, a lot of relationships end during pregnancy because women, y'all's hormones be like, blah, right? And he literally was sitting there. They made it funny, like he was like a Catholic priest, like laying ashes or sprinkling like holy water on her. And they were playing this holy music in the background, like no, like where he's literally like praying to the gods that his wife is going to wake up in a good mood, right? And I was like, oh, a lot of people go through that, okay, because I thought I was the only one. And so I think that people maybe I think that there should be more. I think that anybody who gets married or whatever should maybe join a group with married people or just something where you can get some advice, because you dump a good thing so you can get out in these streets. And I'm gonna just tell you, I don't know hardly any single black woman in their 40s who are dating who are really happy on the dating scene. I just don't. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know.
That's awful.
Yeah.
That's awful. Men are
right.
awful.
Right. So to me, if you did have that one guy who really loved you, but he wasn't perfect, but he was at least going to do his best for you, show up for you, be devoted for you, go to the hospital with you in case somehow you get cancer like the rest of America or whatever the hell, like, why not accommodate that? Why not adjust? Why do we tell people don't settle? That is the dumbest shit on earth to ever tell a person. Yeah. If you pick something and you're committed to something, you're gonna have to settle. When I went to get my PhD, I had days where I got treated like shit, where things did not go right, where things were really hard, but I settled. I said, this is what I want. I'm gonna endure whatever y'all put me through because I need that. I need to get that degree. I got to get that. I got to get to that finish line. I didn't say, well, I'm not going to settle. They gave me too much homework today. I quit. Right. So you go through life and you're constantly quitting. There's a whole graveyard of dead dreams and dead souls, old people in the club who just went through life quitting everything that was hard. Yeah. And I again, I'm not saying every relationship is worth salvaging, but if you picked it, then it should be worth salvaging. And if you picked it and it's not worth salvaging, then why did you pick it? Maybe you didn't think hard enough about how you pick or how to salvage, or something went wrong in that process, which again, that is work that you have to do. If you don't do the work internally, like I had to sit with my therapist to understand that I keep dating my mama. That helped me understand. I didn't realize that. I was like, oh my God, she keeps popping up, and I was like, how do I deal with that? I need to go back. Mama, I'm mad at you right now because I keep dating you, and that's what people do. They date their parents. Yeah. And most people don't even know that, because they're just, I don't know where they're getting their relationship advice, but maybe they're just not getting any. I'll let you get the last word, T. What do you think?
I agree with that. I love that whole idea because you have to settle for something, right? Like, I love that. And settling is not always bad. You know, it's not always a bad thing. You know, final words are that every woman doesn't have this perspective. There are actually good women and good men out there. I believe that, even though, you know, there's videos like this that are super toxic that go viral and people want to jump on bandwagons. But I think that there are still good men out here and good women out here that want good relationships. You know, that those are my thoughts about it. I know that there are women that think this way. But like I said, even those women have stories. When I read Jada Pink, sidebar, I read Jada's book. And, you know, one thing that I learned in being a storyteller is that once you hear someone's story, you can't really hate them, or you can't really think negatively, because you get their perspective. And it was so interesting because in the beginning, when they were getting married, Jada kept saying, I don't want to get married. I don't want to be married. I don't want to be married. I don't want the big glamorous, like, I don't want the big house. I really it could just be us in an apartment. And Will was like, no. It'll be good. This is what we could do. And I'm gonna get you a house and I'm gonna buy you all this stuff and I'm gonna do this. And she was like, no, I don't want that. Right. So it would make sense that she would resent her husband, because when she was walking down the aisle, she was like, I literally wanted to cry. Like, I was pregnant and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go with it. And it ended up today, she does not like her husband. You could tell, like, she resents him in the way that the woman is talking on. I mean, they love each other, but I'm just saying, like, you can tell she also resents him a bit. And I think she's talked about that on the table talk. But I just wanted to bring that into light because, you know, I feel like you have to watch what you kind of got to stick to the things that you stand on your business, like the things that you want in a relationship. You kind of got to stand on that. If she would have said, no, I want somebody like Tupac, you know, or I want somebody that's I want to stay. I don't want it all. I don't want my husband to be a mega film star, box office act. I don't want that. Because it means I gotta sacrifice myself. And that's what she did. She stayed home, she worked less, so I think that going into a relationship, you said it, you just kind of have to know what your deal breakers are and what you want and what you don't want, what you won't tolerate. And I think if you stand on those things, those core things, like, nah, I don't want to look up 50 years and hate you. I don't want to look up 50 years from now and hate you. So I would just say that, that's what that made me think.
Let me ask a hard question. By the way, everybody, please hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. I'm talking to Tara KJ Williams, and we're talking about this video that you can check out at the end of the beginning of the discussion, of a lady who basically says women don't marry their first choice; they just marry some simp that's going to let them like walk all over them. It also her website is realvirtual.net, REEL virtual.net. So if you want help with your business, set up a free consultation with them. The URL's on the screen. So I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take us outside the box a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start with Jade, the conversation about Jada, and lay it out with a whole different perspective.
Okay.
So you said that Jada didn't want to get married. She kind of did it for Will. She did it because she was pregnant, and she has resentment toward him because she feels like she sacrificed something she did not want to sacrifice by being married to him.
That's what I got from it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I said what I said. Anyway, okay.
I stand on that.
Okay. So you stand on it. And I don't disagree with you at all. I don't think any of that's untrue.
Yeah.
But I want you to really think about it from another perspective too. Let's add this into the conversation.
Okay.
Let's look at what Will and Jada created together.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at, a $1 billion empire. I think they're going to be $1 billion family if they're not there already.
Yep.
How many? 4 beautiful children.
Yep.
Who are all individually going to be multimillionaires. They're all going to have multi-million-dollar opportunities. This is going to last. This will last for several generations, right? Several generations. They can say, we made through 30 years. We were an example for a lot of people for a long time until we started telling everybody our business, right? But if they had been a little more disciplined, they did. But still, so here's what I want people to pay attention to. I want you to process this. Everybody would say, a lot of people would say, oh, Jada was stupid. She didn't follow her heart. She should have married Tupac and been a widow at 25 or whatever, right? Whatever, right? People would say that kind of thing.
Right.
But here's the thing that's interesting to me is that anything that's hard to get, like a $1 billion family,
Yeah.
is gonna require a tremendous amount of sacrifice.
Yeah.
And I want you to think about it like this. Give me a yes or no. How many of you feel that you sacrificed a lot for your job? Look at how much you've given the corporate plantation. How many of y'all been working for more than 20 years? Give me a yes in the chat if you worked for a white boss for more than 20 years. And then I want you to I want you to answer this. Does that person annoy you? Does that company get on your nerves? Are you resentful toward that company at some days when you go to work in the morning? Give me a yes or no. So here's the fundamental question. I want to understand this. Why is it that we're so willing to sacrifice everything for 30 years for white people on the corporate plantation just to keep a job that keeps you barely over broke? But you think Jada's a dummy because she made a sacrifice to build a $1 billion empire that also benefits her children. Why are we going to sacrifice more for the white man than we sacrifice for our own goddamn kids? That's what I don't understand. That's what I just don't get. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that it's okay. It doesn't. I mean, I'm sure that being married did not fit with her porn addiction schedule that she had, right? Because Jada told it all, right? I know, right? We know Jada done told us everything, right? Maybe it didn't fit with whatever lifestyle she wanted to live as a 27-year-old. But how about the fact that she got grandkids and great grandkids one day that are going to say, our grandparents sacrificed for 30 years, 30 hard years to help us live a wonderful life in the year 2102. Like they're going to be honored for hundreds of years by that family. Like they built an empire. And you can't show me no empire that didn't require a relentless sacrifice to build the empire and to defend the empire. You name any country, any empire on this earth, from the country of England to the country of China, that did not have to literally shed blood and sacrifice at an unbelievable level to defend their freedom. When the British were being attacked by the Germans and everybody told Winston Churchill to just give up and negotiate peace, he said, we cannot do this. We must die if we have to, because if we give up, we're going to lose everything. We're going to be slaves. Yeah. So Black people, the thing that bothers me sometimes, and I'm not judging anybody's opinion, you can disagree with me, but I don't understand why we think that a person who sacrifices on behalf of the legacy of a powerful Black family is a sucker, but you got millions of Black people who will sacrifice everything to go to work on a white man's corporate plantation. Please answer me this.
Does it matter that they be like bad marriage for life? Does it matter? I guess it doesn't in the big scheme of things. It doesn't matter, right? I hear you, and I'm like, yeah, say that shit, boys. But in the same breath, I'm like, if I look up 30 years later and I throw up in my mouth when I look at you, it's like, what am I doing with my life? I don't know. It's like, right? It's like, Will obviously loves the shit. He was safe. He was determined. He was ambitious. He was like, I'm going to take care of you. All the great things that we want from a man. And she was like, okay, at least he won't cheat on me. And to be honest, even when she comes out and does all of these things, Will doesn't say anything because he loves him some Jada. From the beginning, he was like, that's my wife. I want her
either that or she's got some blackmail on him, right? She's got enough dirt on him, she can destroy him. So it's one or the other, right? So go ahead.
But I think he loved her though. Like I think I don't know any man that would like suffer all of these things and be like, nope, that's my wife. You keep my wife's name out your mouth. Like, we ain't been together in 7 years, but you still smack somebody for me. So I hear you and I hear you, but I also don't know. Like, do you really want to be unhappy for 30 years? Not saying she's lived a great life. I don't know. I think that's the thing. Like, does that mean happiness? Legacy and happiness is different. Like, right? So, like you said, in some cultures, it's not about happiness, but my American ass is like, but I want to be happy.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's funny. It is definitely a perspective thing, right? I remember college basketball coach Rick Pitino. He wrote in his book where he had this player who he recruited and he brought him to campus, and the guy just quit his freshman year. And so he went to go meet with him. He's like, "Why did you quit?" Because practice had gotten hard, right? So that made him walk away. and he said, well, honestly, I'm just not having fun anymore.
Mhm.
And what he said to the guy was, he said, do you think winning championships is fun? Do you think that winning, like being at the top of the world or anything, you think Michael Jordan was always having fun, to become Michael Jordan? It ain't always fun. And again, there's some people who want to live their lives in fun. They want to always be comfortable, always be happy, always be fulfilled, always be content. And then there are some people, I think, where we understand, like just like you becoming Miss Black Hollywood, doing the great things you've done. I've seen many days where you have busted your butt and made yourself very uncomfortable in order to achieve a longer term objective. And I'm not here to judge that for anybody. Only individuals can make the determination about what level of sacrifice is required for them to achieve what they want to achieve. But I don't think we should make fun of the Smiths for making that choice as if that was unconditionally the wrong choice. I can just tell you this: if I had to be uncomfortable in my relationship for 30 years to build a hell of a family and $1 billion empire, I'd be willing to do that, because there are other things I've been uncomfortable with for a long time that have gotten less. Like it was very uncomfortable for me to get a PhD. It was very uncomfortable for me to make my first $1 million. It was very uncomfortable for me to do all the things that I've done in my life. So if people think that you can be happy all the time and then happy long term, those two things are hard to kind of blend, right? And again, maybe Jada could have, done things different. I'm not saying that Will was the best choice for her, but I am going to say that if you look at Jada's background and she talks about how her upbringing was very toxic and unhealthy,
Yeah.
it tells me that she was making that calculation from an unhealthy place.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, this man treating me nice and doing everything for me. I just want to vomit in my mouth. Like come on, like, oh Lord, he bought me flowers again. He defended my honor. What the hell? I ain't got no honor. Why are you defending my honor, you dumb motherfucker? Right? Like, like that's what it comes off as to me. It's like, and I just, and you see that too with men. Like, there's a lady who wrote a whole book called Women. I think the book was called Men Love Bitches.
Yeah.
And that there are men out there who don't love themselves enough to understand that if a woman ain't reciprocating, that ain't the woman for you. And I learned about that when I got married, and people thought that somehow, again, the internet just makes rumors up, and somehow people ran with this rumor that my wife really wasn't attracted to me. She really didn't want me. Like, she really wanted Willie D or something like that. And I'm like, you think I'm as big of a sucker as you are? You really think I'm gonna line myself up with a woman that does not love me back, that will not reciprocate? Are you serious right now? Like, what kind of choices are you making that even enters into your brain? A smart man would never do that, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of times, love and relationships involves a combination of love for you, but also self-love. I got to love myself. But also, I got to also understand that love is reciprocal. So the more I love myself, the more I got to love you, but I got to make sure the love is reflective. I got to make sure that the more I pour into you, the more you're going to pour back into me. And some people don't reflect, they just absorb. They're takers. They'll just use you, right? The users always look for generous people, and that's how we get traumatized.
Yep.
So to avoid that, find somebody who's a giver like you, and give like crazy. And then, because by giving to them, you're giving to yourself. I have a few people in my life that I really love, that I really pour into, and I pour into them extensively because I love myself. I'm literally not even doing a favor for them. I'm doing a favor for me. Because I know that the more I pour into them, the more it's going to come back to me. And then the more I'm able to pour back into them, and it becomes a cycle. And that's what love is supposed to look like. And I don't think people are seeing that. I think people are seeing something different in the streets, and it's causing them to enter these spaces with real trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
you was preaching tonight, brother.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you, I didn't know this stuff got me going like that, but it did. So I'm gonna stop talking now before I say something that gets me in trouble. So anyway, I want to say God bless you. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Yeah. Lisa Love says I'm a widow and I don't see me getting married again. Well, I'm very sorry, Lisa, for your loss, and ashe to your husband. Yeah. And if you're not getting married again because you love him so much, then he's a very lucky man. So bless you and bless your family. And also Joshua Blackman and everybody else. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Tina Jackson, it was real. And so let me give you Tiara's information. Go follow her. Go follow her on Instagram. She is at Miss Black Hollywood, MS Black Hollywood. And also her website is realvirtual.net. So if you want to meet with her and her team and talk about your business, they'll do a free consultation with you. They can give you administrative support. They can give you ideas. They can also help you just have that man and woman power that you need to go to the next level. So feel free to reach out to realvirtual.net, REEL. And also, if you tell them Dr. Boy sent you and you do business with them, they'll take $100 off the price. And also, if you want to join us tomorrow for financial consciousness training, we do that every morning at 10 a.m. Just go to drboyceelevate.com. If you go to drboyceelevate.com, not only will we elevate your consciousness through the 30-day training, it's really, really good. Everyone loves it. If you don't love it, we'll give you your money back. We don't do that in the Black Business School. We don't want your money unless you feel like you got fivefold what you invested in. And then also, if you want to get information from the Black Business School, you can text the word stock to 87948. Text stock to 87948. I'll send you stock picks. I'll send you our $5 a day investing plan. I'll send you our training on how to make money without working. We got you. We got you. Hanging out here will make you smarter because that's our goal. So thank you very much, T. I appreciate it. And y'all have a good night. Yeah, absolutely. And we will see you all soon. Take care now. Bye-bye. Bye.